Alongside the embattled-but-promising roguelike Hyperlight Breaker, Hyperlight Drifter developer Heart Machine has another project in the works, Possessors, a more classico search-action game, to use the Japanese term, looking to make its mark in an increasingly crowded genre. At this year's GDC, I recently had the chance to watch unscripted, live gameplay of Possessor's earliest levels and chat to narrative director Tyler Hutchinson and writer Laura Michet about the project.
Possessors is a search action game set in a dystopian corporate environment that's sealed in.
A sealed corporate city full of messed up monsters. You play as Luca, who's a high school girl who grew up part of her childhood in this corporate city, and she's been possessed by a demon named Rem, who knows a little more than she does about what's really going on in her city.
In order for both of them to survive, Luca had to allow Rem to possess her. Otherwise, she would have died in a big, tragic explosion that destroyed the city. So they'll have to work together to survive.
At the start of the game, Luca is not a big fan of being possessed and does not get along with the demon who's possessing her. She's a regular high school student who thought she had a pretty okay life until all these bad things happen to her. Will she learn to get along with the demon who is stuck in her head? Only by playing the game will you find out.
That's true.
Rem is also not a big fan of having to possess Luca. He thinks she's kind of a loser. Will he learn to value her skills and abilities? Only by playing the game will you find out. Demons can only survive when they possess someone or something, but usually when a demon possesses an object, they go mad and lose their mind and become feral. So a lot of the enemies that Luca fights in the world are possessed objects from this city, like possessed security cameras and possessed soda machines, potted plants, and so on. You might meet some normal demons hidden there throughout the world, but most of them have completely gone feral and are trying to destroy Luca and Rem. Today we demoed Luca fighting with kitchen knives, a computer mouse, and a hockey stick.
Yeah, it was only fitting that since so many of our enemies are just everyday sort of objects that are monsters, that our weapons themselves are sort of improvised, common everyday objects that you might find. I think a lot of it just stems from, Alex early on creating tons of tone pieces of cool people fighting with weapons, and like this was a really number one pillar of just like, yes, we want to have fun combat with like weird weapons. Everyone on the team loves intense combat, whether that be a Souls-like or Smash Brothers. I think everyone was just constantly building out good combat feel. It's something that is nice to see in a search action game, to have like some fun new styles of combat to play with. I think that was probably the idea that was really sticky for a lot of the team. I think our initial combat designer, Luke, put a lot of work into just like figuring out good game feel. Everyone on this team kind of independently makes a lot of games themselves. So there's just a lot of people working together to bring about stuff they want to play,
Working with this team is a lot of fun. We have huge respect for all of our coworkers, and we're constantly impressed by their gigantic brains. I've had so much fun working with this team and seeing what everybody brings to the project.
I mean, I don't think Metroidvania is a vulgar term, but I think it's great to use the term search action just to sort of open up the idea for kind of newer exploration games. I think probably like there's a lot of very specific things people expect and want from a Metroidvania, and I think it's fun to include that gameplay, but I don't think anyone wants to, people want to explore new types of gameplay, so.
We spend a lot of time thinking about anime. I won't tell you which animes I'm thinking about.
I think Possessors is heavily inspired by anime. I think it's just also inspired by a lot of dystopian sci-fi that at least on my end, I love, George Saunders and Margaret Atwood. I also looked a lot into Peer Gynt, which is a play that has some, some fun stuff about living lies or being human. There's that interesting stuff there. So we have two really great level designers, Mars and Jordan, and they work continuously on designing the map with Alex. They both, I think, have a great background in the past. Jordan worked on Black Mesa. Mars has been working in games for years. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife, but they are constantly just refining levels and trying to build a map that just fully matches up everywhere. I think they've got great ideas about building out new systems of kind of doors and keys and abilities, and finding fun ways to just make those something, more interesting than just a door.
I'm always super impressed by how moody the levels are and how much they do express like these environments you would expect to see in this dystopian corporate city. And yeah, I agree. When you're in the skyscraper, it really feels like you're in a corporate office building that's been destroyed by demons.
I think as far as biomes go, we will visit every part of the city. It's a fully walled-in, sealed city. Just other places where people have lived in the city. We're not gonna give too many spoilers.
So has Heart Machine's new game taken possession of you? Will you be first in line to explore its dystopian abandoned city? Has the crisp sprite work and anime stylings got you itching to slash your way through sentient officeware? Let us know in the comments, and make sure you follow PC Gamer for more news and previews of the latest upcoming games.